Let me take this question to Saurabh Shukla also. Saurabh, understanding that military level talks are certainly happening, but on the other side, let's talk about diplomacy also. What we really saw on Friday evening, when the Ministry of External Affairs essentially put out that particular statement, it gave a broad contour within which this discussion essentially would take place. And many would say that just military level talk would not be enough. You would also need diplomacy to take place.
Well, Shravan, I must say that behind the scenes, both our ambassador in Beijing and Foreign Secretary Harsh Shringla have been working, in fact, working proactively to make sure this crisis is diffused. Having said that, I must tell you that this is an old Chinese ploy. First, they try to get into this kind of adventurism, and then they expect the other country on the other side to then negotiate with them. Don't forget that China is under global fire because of what happened in Wuhan and what the pandemic that the world is seeing, because that's thanks to China, because China did not alert other countries in advance. They allowed their nationals to travel everywhere, and that's how COVID has spread to everywhere, and that's the reason they knew that they were under pressure. India has been joining hands with all the countries, including the US, to put pressure on China to come clean on this. That's the reason why I see that this adventurism also is a part of a larger strategy. Also, there's more pressure on the government now to clamp down on the Chinese products here. You saw some of the respected voices like Sonam Wangchuk, who is in Ladakh, talking about this, that today India has to handle China proactively on multi-dimensional format, be it at strategic level, be it at the military level, be it at diplomatic level, also at the economic level. And whatever is the outcome, I know that this is not going to be easy, because Chinese are known to strike a hard bargain,
right.
but they need to realize that they are dealing with a new India which is more strident, not an India of 1962.
Well,
Here, every arm of the government works very proactively and works very well with each other. Yeah. Yes.
Sir, on that point, let me also take this forward to Major General G.D. Bakshi. Yeah, position of strength, that's where we are talking from to the Chinese army.
That's right. You see, previously we had the marked disadvantage of not having adequate infrastructure to stage our troop forwards. The Chinese over the last 50 years have made world-class infrastructure on the Tibetan plateau, class 70 roads almost coming up to the border. They can bring tanks on tank transporters. Now we are trying to catch up much belatedly on our infrastructure. And we find China is trying to raise hurdles and objections. This cannot be countenanced. We did not interfere when China was creating infrastructure in its own sovereign territory. So China has no business to interfere in the creation of such infrastructure in India's own territory. We are responsible to the people of Ladakh. They need roads so that they can get the goods there, they can transport people to schools, to hospitals, etc. We can't go without roads because China doesn't like it. I mean, that's no business of China to say what kind of infrastructure we should have in India or not. And in the instant case, they haven't, like every year there is an annual jamboree, a tamasha in which, we come to our line of perception on the LAC and they come to their line of perception, etc. This year, where is the doubt in the Galwan area? There is no difference in perception on the LAC in the Galwan Shyok River Valley junction. Please don't forget that our Darbuk, Shyok, Daulat Beg Oldi road passes on the left bank of the Shyok, and the Chinese had come, a brigade-side force had come and occupied the heights, a la Kargil, the Kargil Redux. How can India accept it? We have to define our red lines. We have to say what